This is how you sort out a major nuclear crisis and make the world a bit more of a safer place. In 1987, the U.S. and Soviet leaders got together and banned ground-launched intermediate-range ballistic missiles. And this is an example of how leaders can perhaps make the world more dangerous.
Russia has violated the agreement. They've been violating it for many years, and I don't know why President Obama didn't negotiate or pull out. And we're not going to let them violate a nuclear agreement and go out and do weapons, and we're not allowed to. We're the ones that have stayed in the agreement, and we've honored the agreement, but Russia has not, unfortunately, honored the agreement. So we're going to terminate the agreement. We're going to pull out.
Well, Donald Trump does have someone to learn from.
I have concluded the ABM treaty hinders our government's ability to develop ways to protect our people from future terrorist or rogue state missile attacks. The United States of America is withdrawing from this almost 30-year-old treaty.
At the turn of the century, George W. Bush pulled out of a 1972 pact designed to put the brakes on both countries from constantly outdoing each other's nuclear forces. Freed from the shackles of the treaty, Washington announced the deployment of a missile defense system in Europe.
And there's no better symbol of our desire to work for peace and security than working on a missile defense system. A missile defense system that would provide a security for Europe.
For Russia, having new nukes right on its doorstep posed a new security threat.
Plans to expand certain elements of the missile defense system to Europe cannot help but disturb us. Who needs the next step of what would be, in this case, an inevitable arms race?
The U.S. missile shield started operating in Romania in 2016. Some elements were also deployed in Poland. Before long, Russia's western borders were pretty much taken care of. Moscow began to respond by modernizing its weapons to match.
The possession of such weapons provides major advantages in warfare. Their phenomenal speed make them unstoppable for modern missile and air defense systems.
Washington wasn't happy at all.
Russia has been developing destabilizing weapon systems for more than a decade in direct violation of its treaty obligations.
Accusations came in one after another.
The White House and the country learning of that new threat from Russian President.
Warning his adversaries, and in the West in particular, not to mess with Russia.
Computer graphics of missiles flying over mountains and heading over oceans.
And he says he's not bluffing.
And so we got to the point when another nuclear safeguard bit the dust. Is the world now up for another arms race? It might well be a question of when, not if.
The security architecture of the European writ large space is a very important thing. The problem is that security architecture is broken. There shouldn't be a Western front for Russian security. There shouldn't be an Eastern front for European NATO. These things shouldn't exist at this point in the 21st century. We don't need this class of weapons. Why don't we just do away with it and find other ways to get along better that don't involve voluntarily, eliminating classes of weapons?
Since President Trump has been in power, it does appear withdrawing from landmark agreements has been one of his priorities.
I am announcing today that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, from the Paris Climate Accord. Withdraw.
This is just the latest in the treaties that the President of the United States has been withdrawing from. It's hard to say whether or not President Trump has some longer-range negotiating strategy or if this is just his latest fit of impulsiveness. It's really difficult to predict with this president.